Good morning and welcome to the Radical Sim Racing World Series. I am James Parfitt. I'm here to guide you through all the action this evening, and what an exciting race it's going to be. We've got the returning Pro Champion of Lucas Vieira. We've got the returning AM Champion of Diego Zuccarelli, which is now a Pro. So Diego Zuccarelli is now a Pro in the series. We've got 18 cars here this evening, and let's give you a rough guide of where we are. We are at Hockenheim in Germany. 9 configurations. Current configuration running from 2002. Okay, so it runs from 2002 to the present day. It's current 4.574 kilometers, 2.842 miles. Runs at 16 curves. Now, there is some debate about the curvage of this track, okay? Because if you read some information, it tells you it's got 17. If you read other information, it tells you it's got 15. But we can tell you it's got 16. Current track record is a 1:13.780, set by Kimi Räikkönen in the MP4 19B in 2004. That's how long it stood so far. And now, what has happened over the break? Well, we've had a lot more drivers join the championship. Okay, so we're now up to 18 championships, 18 drivers. We've got 10 pros, 8 AMs currently, and not everybody has made it either. We've got some new drivers in. Greg Seitz from Russ Racing is a new driver, and he will be on track defending against Lucas Vieira and trying to take that crown away that Lucas Vieira got last year in the pros. Situation is this: Joan Moncada has been promoted through the championship. Diego Zuccarelli has been promoted. Richard Quinn has been promoted. So those 3 are promoted. Now, Warren Henry is still a pro, still an AM, sorry. He renounced his promotion during the break that we had, okay? He didn't want to be promoted. He stayed in AMS, and that is where Warren Henry is tonight. It is in the AMS. Now, what other changes has there been made to the series itself? Well, as you can see, it's the Radical World Series, okay? So, Radical World Series here tonight. We've got drivers that have teamed up all the way through the championship. We've got Russ Racing, we've got On Wheels TV. Now, they consist of Lucas Vieira and also Mateus Moreira, so that's going to be an interesting lineup. So we've got the defending champion and a very fast Mateus Moreira there as well. Also, Stephen Place has teamed up with Joan Moncada for Team Radline in the American Championship, so that's going to be great as well for Stephen Place. You know, Stephen didn't always qualify last year, and if he did, he generally qualified at the back and then made his way through the field. Now, I'm hoping this year he's going to qualify and go for it from the very beginning. And that's what I'm excited about. We've got Event Matrix, which is Diego Zuccarelli and Richard Price. So Richard Price in the AM, so it's a mixture of pro and AM team there with Event Matrix. We've got Vision One Motorsports with Damien Bank as well. So Damien now is sole representative of Vision One Motorsport. So that has been the way some of the teams have teamed up. Now, there's still spaces for teams. If you want to get involved and team up, you still can. So please get involved with that. One of the other interesting changes is the way the point system has been handed out as well. They've now got 70 points for the win. 70 points for the win. 65 for second, 60 for third, 55 for fourth, 50 down to fifth, and they got places all the way down to 25. So every driver tonight will score points. Pole positions are still that one, and also the fastest lap is still that one. Now, one of the interesting things as well is what's come out regarding the blue flag rule. They're going for a 30-minute race. So officially, the blue flags, as we know within iRacing, they're just there provisionally. Okay, so what they've come across and said now is the blue flags, because you are in a 30-minute race, you have to let the car pass as soon as possible under blue flag in every circumstance. Now, anybody that knows me will know that I am a stickler for blue flags. It's one of the things that drives me absolute crazy, and I cannot handle the blue flag rule. It just frustrates me, and I get annoyed, and it just drives me absolutely crazy. So I'm so pleased to hear that they need to let the car past as soon as possible. You cannot defend your positions. You cannot get involved with the racing up front. And that is one of the biggest rule changes. And I'm so happy about it because it does do my nutting. Absolutely drives me crazy. If anybody knows me with blue flags, I am literally one of them that are pulling my hair out. Now, we've just entered into qualifying, so we are waiting for that to happen at this moment in time. There's a few cars out on track currently at the moment, and just stay tuned because it's going to be absolutely amazing. 10 minutes qualifying, four lone laps there as well, and a 30-minute race. All right, so there you go. Fast repairs, they've got one. No pit stops are needed, and drive-through penalty every 15 minutes. But I tell you what we'll do, while they're going around in qualifying, let's switch over to the race screen. Okay, so there we go. We are come over onto the race screen now. The drivers are out on track, and we are going to sit back and watch qualifying. Hope everybody's well. CJMSA, hope you're well. Stephen Place, thank you so much for joining us. Chris Reagan, come on, Richard Hearn, he said there as well. So hopefully we will see that happening as well. And also, Phil across the pond, thank you so much for joining me on this very early morning. I appreciate it. It's nearly 1 o'clock. Nearly 2 o'clock in the morning, if it hasn't gone 2 o'clock already. Don't forget, guys, tomorrow coming up, we've got the launch of the AMs and the pros from the European Series. So that's going to kick off tomorrow as well. So please, please, please come along for that one, because that's going to be absolutely incredible. Calendar-wise, we have got, okay, Hockenheim this week. And then on the 12th next week, we're at Rotskogen. Then on the 19th, we're at Catalunya in the circuit of Barcelona. 26th is Mount Panorama, which I'm looking forward to that one. And the Red Bull Ring on the 2nd of February. After that, we've got Alton Park International with no chicanes on the 9th of February. Legacy Silverstone Circuit on the 16th of February. And Brands Hatch on the 23rd of February as well. So we'll keep an eye on this one. As you can see here, one of the interesting things I want to follow is this man, Greg Seitz. He's new into the series now. He's no slouch in this car, and I'll tell you why he's no slouch in this car. Partly because his 7.2 I rating, gives it away a little bit that he's no slouch. So hopefully we will see what Greg can do. But stay tuned for this one, guys, because it's going to be absolutely amazing. If it's anything like the race we saw earlier on as well, it could get quite chaotic. And you all know I love a bit of chaos. So stay tuned, sit back, relax, grab a drink, get some popcorn in, get ready to go, because you're not going to want to miss this broadcast live on the JPB YouTube channel. Don't forget, guys, as well, if you are here for the first time, you can subscribe, follow, ring the bells, do it all. And you're not going to want to miss any of this action. So we're still in the Radical SR10, 425 brake horsepower, 380 pound-feet of turbocharged engine with direct injection, twin independence as well, and it's going to be absolutely incredible. The weight of this car is nothing. It is literally like a go-kart on wheels. That's it. That's literally all you've got to worry about, because, you know, it's just incredible. As we see Lucas Vieira go pole on a 1:33.340 there as well. Matteo Simonari is another one on a run here at the moment, 1:33.94. Nothing on the board at the moment for this man, so hopefully he'll get some laps in very, very shortly, and we'll be able to see what he can. CJMSA, Simonari round again. Okay, well, there you go. CJ, my little spotter there, just in case I miss anything. Thank you so much, CJ. But we've got a lot of new names in this season. Joe Jacklin, Tyler Brown, David Graybill, Charles Krasick is back, welcome back. Rich Price, Greg Seitz, Antonio Alvarez, there you go, when I get my teeth working. Here's another new one in as well. Of course, Matteo Simonari is here as well. We've got the Richard Quinn, Habanis Gevorgian, Richard Hearn, Joel Moncada, Diego Zuccarelli, Moraes, Vieira, they're all returning. as well for this amazing championship. So stay tuned, because it's going to be absolutely incredible. And sit back, relax, and enjoy it, guys, because at the end of the day, that is what racing is all about. We've got 5:14 on the clock, and I've still not got no time for Greg here, and I'm hoping he can get a decent time on the board this evening and see how he gets on. He's coming around the final corner. This is turn 16. What can Greg get on the board at the moment? Still not got a time. He's gone into second. There we go, 1:33.02 for Greg Sakes here tonight. So we've got Vieira, Sykes, Morea, Simonari, Zuccarelli, Hearn, Jacqueline, Quinn, Mercado, Javorzian, Graybill. Round out your top 11. Let's see how everybody else is getting on. Havanis Javorzian just coming round the final corner. See how he's going to do. I know Juan Mercado wants to try and be more consistent. He's in Team Radline this year as well. Extra pressure there alongside my man Stephen Place, so he's got to be on the ball here, because otherwise Stephen's going to be giving him a whole heap of grief about getting that car up onto that screen and onto that timing tower and up in that top half, because Stephen wants to get Team Radline up there at the moment. We're on board with Charles Krasik, because he's going to come across the line very, very shortly. Goes into 13th. Richard Hearn currently leading on for the AMs. Let's see what he's going to be able to do as he's coming around turn 11, mobile curve 1, then dropping down into turn 12 here this evening as well. He doesn't want to overpower that car so far. We saw it earlier on. Oversteer the car and your tyres are going to be gone. They've only got 30 minutes, but within that 30-minute period, a lot happens to this car, and they can't oversteer. They cannot be putting that steering wheel all the way around. It can't be done. They've got to learn. Oh, this Richard Hearn, a little bit slow around that last last corner of the circuit there. Stays where he is in 8th on a 134, 174. Vieira 132, 863. Greg's 133, 136 as well. So no real massive improvements on them. Havana Shavorjian is going quicker for his time here tonight as well. So stay tuned and let's see what he will do. Havana Shavorjian. He's got to get on that gas. Get it on. Let it run wide. Let it run. That's the boy. Here he goes now. Seventh, 133.651. Stays where he is. Matez Moraes is another man who's going green as well. Oh, around that slow hairpin. It's such a killer of a corner. Such an absolute killer. He's got to just get it under control. Here's Tessimani. Moraes. He's gone left, he's gone right, he's coming around now, 15 and 16, a double right-hander. Pushing. He's a pushing. What can Moraes do? He's got 2 green sectors. Just get the foot down to the floor. Third place for Moraes on a 133.299. Oh, Moraes there, 133.299. Diego Zuccarelli, he's going faster as well. He's going to come across the line. 133.432. Kansas Gentry. It's another newcomer to the series. He's got 2 greens under his belt at the moment. Juan Mercado has got a green as well. Goes across the line. Stays in 5th. Where does Kansas Gentry go? Doesn't. What about Tyler Brown? He's coming round now into turn 12. Ooh. Tyler Brown's got 2 greens across the board at the moment. 48 seconds remaining. Up 114th. 14th there as well. Joel Jacqueline's not going to improve, I don't think. He's currently down in 11th place. 2 yellows at the moment, so is Greg up front. I think Greg's just running round currently at the moment. Not long to go. And that is qualifying over with. Let's have a look at the grid here this evening. Lucas Vieira is in first, Greg Six in second, Mateus Moraes third, Matheus Thimonari in fourth, Johan Moncada in fifth, Diego Zuccarelli sixth, Antonio Alvarez in seventh, Vanna Shivorgian in eighth, Richard Hearn in ninth, Richard Quinn 10th, Joel Jacklin in 11th, Rich Price down in 12th place. Beyond that, you've got Charles Krasik in 13th, Tyler Brown in 14th, David Graybill down in 15th, Kansas Gentry 16th, Warren Henry 17th, and Austin Dabbs down in 19th place. Right, Lucas Vieira is out front already, ready to go, as these guys are going to be heading down into turn one, down into Nord Curve we go. See them lined up there. Ready, they're poised for the return of the Radical Sim Racing World Series live from the Hockenheim ring. Moraes, Graybill and Dabbs waiting to get onto track at the moment. What can happen? I'm excited. I'm excited. I just want to see Vieira, see what happens with Lucas Vieira, because I think he's not going to have it his own way this season, and I think that's going to be one of the interesting things for him. Is he's got to be on it. He has to be on it. He cannot be anything else bar on it. The lights are on. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the Radical Sim Racing World Series is underway. We've got Diego Zuccarelli, Greg Six. He's got straight in first place currently at the moment. He's jumped him at the start and it's opened up a massive gap already. Nearly a second. That has to be close to whether or not he jumped that start, but he got there off the line. He's got it deep though, coming around now, running round and through turn 5, down Parabolica we go, and it's Greg Sides out in front with Lucas Vieira, Mateus Thimonari, Moraes behind that as well, but it's these front two we're going to watch on the way down into Spitzker hairpin for the first time. Here's Moraes going to go, Thimonari going to look at going up the inside. He is over Lucas Vieira. Oh, he's cooked it. Thimonari's cooked it. There's another one, that's Moncada as well. Moncada's cooked it. Oh no, Moraes did the same thing. Thimonari cooked it on that Spitzker and he went off. So went in too deep and now coming down, settling down in 6th place currently at the moment, guys, here tonight at the Hockenheim ring. But it's the front two, Greg Sykes, Lucas Vieira have got away currently at the moment. Moraes, Zuccarelli, Thimonari there down in 6th place, Moncada down in 7th, Richard Hearn behind that, and it's Richard Hearn leading the arms currently at this moment in time here this evening. So let's see how this one plays out. With Moraes out in 5th, 4th place currently with Antonio Alvarez. They're in the bright yellow and blue in front of him, but Lucas Vieira has got to chase down Greg Sykes here tonight because he's literally running away. He's half a second up the road already. But Moraes, what can he do about Alvarez? He's got to try and get a hold of him currently at the moment, and there's just no real improvements here coming at the moment. And it's Thimonari, Moraes, Shivorgian and Juan Moncada involved in that incident there. There's my favourite liveried Richard Quinn in the SR10 in that Benetton style livery. If anybody watches F1, you'll know what I mean there with that one. But it is Greg Sykes, Vieira, Alvarez, Moraes, Zuccarelli, Thimonari, Moncada, Hearn, Quinn and Shivorgian rounding out a top 10. Vieira's gone for a dive up the inside of Greg Sykes. He's made it stick. Lucas Vieira has taken the lead. Oh no, Greg's in front of him again. Hold on. Greg Seitz got back there. Lucas Vieira went in deep. Here we go. So he manages to make the move and Spitz-Scare hairpin and then just goes in far too deep. He's not going to stop that car. Oh, Lucas Vieira and then Greg Seitz says, thank you very much. I'll have that back again. So there we go. It's Greg Seitz, Lucas Vieira up front at the moment. Kansas Gentry is battling away with Joel Jacklin at the back of the field. This is your battle down for 15th place currently at the moment. And then in midfield battle, we've got Antonio Alvarez, Mateus Moreira, Zuccarelli, Simonari, Richard Hearn and Moncada. Not very far apart currently at the moment. You can see it there. It's likely to be Simonari on Zuccarelli. Simonari is looking quick, but he was just too quick for himself into the hairpin the first time around. Look at the damage on the left-hand side of his car. You can see he's left red paint somewhere on this racetrack. Is sitting probably on another SR10 here this evening, so they've got to be careful here for Simonari. If he wants to do this, I understand he's passionate. It's the first race of the season. Nerves are kicking in. You're a little bit nervous. He's going up the inside. He's trying to take that wide line over Zuccarelli. Is he going to make it stick this time around? It's the Spitz-Scare. No, thinks better of it. You've got to be sensible. There's no point overcooking it. To get points, you've got to finish. And to finish, you've got to finish. Because if you don't finish, you're in it. Shall we say, Joel Moncada up now, tucked behind, right behind Richard Hearn. Hearn leading the AMs. Moncada now promoted to pros, now a part of Team Radline. So he's got to be looking at getting that consistency level that he didn't have last year. Joel Moncada was very inconsistent. He was up and down. 1 minute, he knew that. I spoke to him after in the interview when we had the interviews I did with him. And he knew he was inconsistent, and he knew he had to sort that out. And Moncada has got to deal with it again. He was involved in that first lap incident at the Spitz-Scare. He's now got to get his head down and start bucking up and moving that SR10 forward. Zuccarelli, however, has got to defend for his life here from Simonari. How is this one going to work out to go round turn one currently at this moment in time? Simonari behind him. There is Simonari going around the top end of round 2 and 2, 3 and coming out of 4. He's got to get him on this run down. Surely he's 2 tenths back. He should be picking up the draft, putting himself forward. Moreira and Zuccarelli are also really close together. Don't think Moreira is going to do it this time around. Simonari, is he going to do this? Oh, Zuccarelli was so clever with the way he positioned his car there and said, well, if you're going to do it, son, it's going to happen, but you've got to get your car in front of us at the moment, and he cannot do it. Simonari cannot get past Zuccarelli, and that's going to be one of the things that they've got to look out for. He's got to be trying. Oh, no, Antonio Alvarez goes round. It's just got to sit there. Oh, Antonio Alvarez has just got to sit there. We'll have a look back and see how he did that very, very shortly. But that has released Moraes. Now, was it Moraes involved in that? That's going to be the question, and that will be the question that we're going to answer right about now. No, it can't be Moraes from that far back. Surely he's got to be all on his own. It was. He overcooked it into Mercedes and around. Oh, slight little contact from Moraes there. But it is Moraes leading this third place with Zuccarelli behind him. Simonari looking at going up the inside again. Simonari, I tell you, is climbing all over Zuccarelli. Poor Zuccarelli, he's going to sit there and just be defending for his absolute life here this evening at the Hockenheim ring. But don't worry, Zuccarelli, you've only got 23 minutes to endure this, and I think he's being saved by the draft from Moraes, pulling him along that parabolica straight down into the Spitz-Scare. Simonari's going on the outside. He's not going to make that stick. Surely he's not going to make that stick around the outside. Zuccarelli's going to run him all the way around turn 7 now. He's only got to open up that steering a little bit, and that is what happens to Simonari. He runs wide. Oh, this battle is going to get intense. It's going to get intense. The up front battle's got down to about 8 tenths as well with Seitz and Vieira. So we'll keep an eye on that one and see how close Vieira can get. I told you Vieira's not going to have it all his own way this season. And that's one of the things he's got to look out for. He's got a very quick Greg Seitz in front of him. Stiminari with a lock up there on the front left of that SR10 coming through the 13, 14, double right-hander at 15 and 16 before leading us off all the way down into North Curve Turn 1 as these guys come running down now right in front of us. Here we go. Over the start-finish line, here they come now, racing through. Then off again. One more lap for Simonari, still behind Zuccarelli. Right. See what's happening here. Tyler Brown is at the back. He's just passed Rich Price. Rich Price has just got overtaken by Tyler Brown. Simonari cannot make that stick. Can Rich Price make this stick? He's got Richard Quinn behind him as well. Richard's got to be looking at trying to go up the inside. Oh, Quinn's got to tighten up that hairpin. So much. Price now down into 13th, loses 2 positions there from Tyler Brown and Richard Quinn. Zuccarelli and Simonari still battling at it. They're coming now into turn 11. Zuccarelli's just got to open up that steering. Opening the steering, and that would have been Simonari. Oh, contact! Zuccarelli he's not gonna, he did, you know, he ran round that outside line so quick, and unfortunately he still lost the place to Simonari, but he didn't lose the place to Richard Hearn behind, and Richard Hearn is showing great pace here currently. Or an out driver. There is Hearn coming towards us. Showing great pace here, but can Zuccarelli now get back onto the back of Simonari, or is Simonari now just going to go and run away with it? Let's see what happens here. Romanis Shaborgian has had an incident as well. He still manages to stay in 8th place, 7th in the AMs. So hopefully he will be okay and will manage to keep that one together. But that is the current standings overall in the championships, all their respective classes. I'll tell you what, Richard Quinn is Richard Hearn, sorry, is looking racy in that SR10. I love that design livery. It looks absolutely spectacular. Zuccarelli has got a little bit closer to Simonari. Simonari hasn't really put a dent in Moraes. It's still out about 1.35 seconds. But it's always that thing when you're following a driver. You always want to get that little bit quicker and quicker and quicker and quicker and quicker. You know, you take, it's a weird thing when you're following a car, because you do end up going quicker. You're not really sure why. You're not as quick as you had been throughout the whole of the race. Joel Jacklin has been off track there for Mr. Jacklin in the SR10. He's still going, but he has been taking a little bit of a diversion. Moraes has now got the ever-looming Simonari behind him. There we go. Simonari, Zuccarelli, Hearn. Let's see. I figured that was what had happened, CJ. Moncada, Gevorgian, Simonari, Zuccarelli, Moncada, Gevorgian. Gevorgian's trying to go up the inside. Let him go, cut him back. Not this time, that's Gevorgian through. Tyler Brown over David Graybill. Graybill manages there to stay and be out in Brown and Graybill nearly come to contact there. Zuccarelli has got Hearn behind him, and you wouldn't think Richard Hearn was sitting at the top of the AMs, but he is an out driver, but he's beating some pros at the moment. He's beaten 5 of them, so great job for Richard Hearn with 17 minutes remaining. Zuccarelli's looking untidy around that final sector, I tell you that much. That's where Richard Hearn is closing on him, in that last third of the circuit. There's registering some people on that off track in that turn 1, but to be honest, you're only going to do 15 laps, I suppose, here this evening. If holding on to your position is more important than your off tracks, then that's what's going to happen. But let's have a look back at Joe Jacklin. He's not holding that. Under no circumstances was he holding that. Hearn has cleared Zuccarelli in the Spitzker. Zuccarelli's now got to look and find another way through. Wide world of sim for Richard Hearn. I tell you what, Hearn is looking swift, I tell you. I don't think it's going to be long before he's battling away with Simonari. Keeps up this pace, he definitely will be doing that soon. Okay, back underway. Trying to open up a gap on Simonari. Quinn trying to battle up to the back of Tyler Brown. Oh, David Graybill. Oh, David Graybill goes off, drops himself all the way down into 14th. Juan Moncada has got Alvarez battling right behind him at the moment. I just read the team name of Antonio Alvarez. Not really sure how to pronounce the team name without sounding rude, but you can see it on the side of his SR10 there as well. So Antonio Alvarez is going to be looking at going up the inside of Moncada. Makes it stick this time around. There's a lock-up of a brakes in front there. Lucas Vieira has lost a chunk of time, but Moncada's looking at coming back over Alvarez. So heading down now into turn 8. Through Mercedes they go, coming out the other side of 9 and 10. Moncada, Alvarez, Gevorgian. They're battling away nicely. Kansas Gentry at the back. He is having a battle with Rich Price. Kansas in the AMS and Rich Price respectively as well. Trying to get up and battle out each other here. Alvarez clear, slowly clearing off Gevorgian. Richard Hearn is making more inroads to Simonari than Zuccarelli is making to him. So let's have a look back and see what Lucas Vieira got himself up to allow that 2-second gap to drop back. That is into Spitzker. Oh, Vieira. It is, it's 2:30, Jack. Thank you very much. It is a late one for me, but, you know, we do this because we love the racing here in the Radical Sim Racing World Series. And I told you, Simonari is closed onto the back of Moraes and he's pulling Hearn with him. So if Hearn can keep up his pace, he could be involved in this front battle for third place over Moraes. Fun fact, Richard Hearn is actually Richie Hearn, who finished third in the Indianapolis 500. Right, and we've got him as an AM because Alvarez lost the place to Moncada. Oh, he's on the gravel. Richard Hearn on the gravel. Oh, he's lost time over Simonari. Simonari lost a little bit of time over Moraes. The gap's now coming down a little bit more. Mateus Moraes is going to see Simonari closing very, very shortly. And it's How is Moraes going to deal with the situation? That's going to be the thing. There is Simonari behind us. Looming in his gearbox. Simonari closing in. Not going to be closer this time around, guys. I can tell you that one is not going to be close unless he takes a mad dive there as well. Moraes, he's got to defend, he's got to try and do something. I don't know what he's going to be able to do, but he's got to try and do something to unsettle Simonari. He's got to, I don't know, he can't, obviously, you don't want to see them come together, but at the same time, this holding this up, and Hearn is coming in slowly. Simonari again, still settled in. Vieira now 2.8 seconds back. Oh, Moraes, you got to keep it clean. Got to keep it clean. That is Moraes in front of us on the brakes. He's unsettled that car. He left tyre marks on the racing circuit there. Did Moraes. He's unsettled, but it's understandable. He's got Simonari right behind him as they're coming round turn one. Oh, Simonari, big dose of gravel there. He's got to be careful. I've got him at 10 off tracks already. Uh-oh. Simonari stopped that SR10, and you saw that looming Moraes come closer and closer to us here tonight. Simonari now and Moraes around the hairpin. What can Simonari do? That's going to be the question, right? Because Moraes isn't a slouch. He's not going to roll over. He's not a puppy who you've just bought for the first time who can roll over and get your belly tickle. Moraes isn't going to allow that through. He's got to defend that position, and he's got 10 minutes remaining. Don't get me wrong, 10 minutes of pure defending is impossible, and it's hard. It's not impossible, it's possible, but it's hard. And I did it myself in an SR8 at Interlagos a long time ago when James actually ventured out the commentary box to sit in his rig, which is right next to me, believe it or not. But it was a tough one, I'm not going to lie. It was a tough race to try and defend from somebody for that long periods of time. But Moraes got to find a way to do it. He's got to find a way. Lucas Vieira again has had an incident. He's carried on though. Oh, Richard Hearn. Richard Hearn. That is in turn 12. Do you know what, right? I can guarantee what Richard Hearn is sitting there thinking. No reason that that car decided it was going to go round. Apart from the fact, if we look on his right rear, you will see his right rear touches the curb on the outside and it accelerates and spins him round. But other than that, there was no reason that car should have spun whatsoever. But this is spicing up to be a battle as well. Giorgio, Moncada and Alvarez. Oh, dude, you took a dive. And you dived harder than Neymar then, buddy, I'll tell you that much. And you didn't make it work. All you've done is manage to lose time over the front two of Moncada and Giorgio. And that isn't good currently at this moment in time. Rich Price again, still battling away with Gentry. Gentry's cleared Price. And away he goes and off and running. Giorgio now has got Moncada. Moncada, Stephen Place, Moncada's consistency. Oh, he's gone round. They're gonna. Oh, Giorgio is round. Same place as Richard Hearn. Same thing as Richard Hearn. That's the thing with that corner. It's the same place. If we watch this tyre, you'll see what I mean for Havana Giorgio. Watch that rear right. There we go. That rear right hit that curb on that upper limit, unsettled the curb, and around he went. So that is what happened to Richard Hearn at the same time. Moraes now, Simonari still behind him, but Moraes has still got going. It's 7 minutes remaining. Vieira's got to be a little bit careful currently at the moment. He's lost a lot of time now. The sights up front. I think from Vieira's point of view, what he kind of wanted to do was kind of stamp his mark on his championship and say, do you know what, you may come into this, but this is my crown. This is my championship I'm going to defend. And he just didn't, he hasn't been able to do that. He got a really, really slow start off the line. Like, the sights had gone 1 second up the road already. But Vieira didn't come back and stamp on him. He didn't kind of come back and, you know, as if Greg was a cockroach and just put your boot on it. He didn't do that. And Stites got away, and then Vieira made a mistake, and then he's made another mistake as well. And now the gap's out to 3.1 seconds. From Vieira's point of view, he's got to settle down when we go into next week. He's got to get that victory, because if Stites gets 2 victories in a row, Vieira's going to be sitting there thinking, oh man, what am I going to do? Like, what am I actually going to do to this young man to try and stop him? Because he's a defending champion, Vieira. Vieira's used to running away with it, and that's where the class of the Americas field has got so much more improved. And there's no disrespect to any of the drivers that were here and are returned. It's just the likes of Simonari, Alvarez, you know, Richard Hearn. They've all got more and more improved as they've come into the championship, which only strengthens the championship. But for Vieira, he's now got to sit back and fight. You know, Vieira didn't even have to turn up for the last 2 rounds last season, and he'd already won them. Like, he was that far ahead, he already took the victory. Oh, no, Moraes goes in deep into Mercedes, and that's allowed Simonari through. Simonari is now in 3rd place. Oh, that car did look unsettled, though. Here comes Moraes back at him again, going down into 12. Simonari into P3. Yes, we can see CJ. CJ, our resident spotter. Simonari is up into P3 with Moraes behind him. Moraes only half a second, mind you. Lucas Vieira again. Vieira's had another incident, and this is it. Oh, he's done the same thing. Watch that right rear. That curve. You wouldn't think a curve does that, because it shouldn't unsettle the car in that way, but it did. And it's such a bizarre way of doing it, that little curve on the outside of turn 12 unsettles this SR10 so much, and it has done again. And it's claimed victims, it's claimed Vieira, it's claimed Hearn. Oh man, and Gevorgian, so many on that exit. They've just got to be careful. Vieira there on lap 16. Got to be careful, but Richard Quinn is chasing down Antonio Alvarez. Coming into Mercedes, both men making through. Quinn's got a bit of a tighter line. Alvarez has got to swing that car out a little bit more to get the rotation round for this exit on this run up now into turn 11. Quinn there in the green, red, blue, yellow Benetton livery. Alvarez in the front in the yellow and blue. Lap 18, 3 minutes on the clock. Here we go now. What is going to happen along as we're coming into the last 3 minutes? Simonari still got Moraes behind him. Vieira's opened up a little bit more of a gap than he had before, but not by much. If Simonari can get into the draft of Vieira, I've got a funny feeling that this could be all she wrote, and it's going to be... I think from Vieira's point of view, he cannot make another mistake. If he makes another mistake, it's all done. he's going to be down the order. He'll be down in 4th place, and that's not how he wanted to open up his championship. Charles Krasik has had an off track as well. Moraes didn't get it settled going through Mercedes. Not quick enough anyway. 2 minutes 12 on the clock. I think it's going to be one more. It's going to be close. Let's have a look. 2:05 it is. It's going to be one more. Seitz has just done nothing wrong. Literally, he's literally dominated this field from the moment he got off the line to the moment he got to where he got to here on lap 19. They're going to have about 20 laps. He's just put nothing wrong, and that's the impressive thing. Jumped off the line like an absolute rocket. This is Kansas. Oh, Dvorkin done the same thing. Same thing. Same thing. Crazy. On this right rear, over this curve on the exit. Runs wide. There it is. Man. Curve being unsettled that much. That one curve caused some problems. The gap's now below a second. As these guys come running into Mercedes, Vieira's got to settle down. He's made a few mistakes tonight. Let's put him in this position. Cannot afford to lose anymore. Needing Moraes really to put pressure on Seminari, and Moraes just not been able to do it. On turn 12 we go. Greg Seitz going to come and take the white flag. Barney is going to be waving, and he is done. Final lap of the race. And tonight, from Vieira's point of view, he's got to try and settle down. It looks like Seminari has made a mistake. Warren Henry is not having a good time towards the back of the field. He's had 2 incidents already. But it all was, I suppose in a way, it was all dependent on whether or not Seminari was going to be able to put Vieira under pressure. He got the gap down to below a second, and then Vieira's just, you know, put his foot down, got the car set back down again. But how big of a dent, psychological dent, is this going to be over Lucas Vieira? Because, as I said, if you haven't watched any of last season, you definitely should go back and watch. Because Vieira dominated this series, literally dominated it, and he's come in this season. The men around him that are on his pace, on his level, people that have improved, like Zuccarelli's improved, Moncada as well. Richard Hearn would have been a lot further up if he hadn't had that incident out of turn 12. You know, from Vieira's point of view, he's got pressure if he wants to defend this season's championship, and he's got to have to really try and put that maximum effort in he can. As I go round now, Greg Seitz is going to be coming across the finishing line. Seitz wins here this evening. Here comes Lucas Vieira. There goes Seminari, there goes Moraes. Here tonight, but Greg Seitz is your opening championship winner of this Radical World Series. Richard Hearn. Oh, Alvarez at the back. Spinning. Manages to come across the line in 10th place with Kansas Gentry behind him. Oh, Alvarez has had a rotten luck, unfortunately. Rotten luck for Alvarez. Dvorkin's gone over the line. Richard Price, David Graybill, Charles Krasik comes over the line. And Warren Henry. And that rounds out round one. Warren Henry is completely unhappy with himself, I would say, on that one. Not a happy bunny is Warren Henry. We can show you up the results of race one. Greg Seitz is in first from Russ Racing over Lucas Vieira, 9.559 seconds. Mateus Simonari a second back there as well. Mateus Moraes in fourth place. Zuccarelli in fifth. Moncada in sixth. Richard Hearn in seventh. Tyler Brown in eighth. Richard Quinn in ninth. Antonio Alvarez in 10th. Kansas Gentry in 11th. Joe Jacklin in 12th. Havana Shivorgian in 13th. Rich Price is in 14th. David Graybill 15th. Charles Krasik 16th. Warren Henry 17th. And Austin Dabbs did not take the start, down in 18th place. Well, I think it was an interesting fight, and I want to see if I can have a chat with these gentlemen and go from there. I want to have a chat as well, if I can, with that man. So let's see if we can get people into the booth for a conversation, because I think it's going to be an interesting one. Great job to Hearn, won your class on debut. Yeah, it did. Richard Hearn won over Tyler Brown. So Tyler there, first in the AMs. Let's have a look back at the start. Look at Moraes, just did not go anywhere. Didn't go anywhere. And he just seemed to have gone absolutely nowhere. And let's find out here what happened. But we'll start off with your third place man in Mateus Simonari. Good evening, Mateus. How are you?
How are you? Very good. First time here and gladly on the podium. I missed the guys on the on the first lap on the last on the hairpin, but I could save them and the race could continue. So
yeah, you had an eventful one, didn't you? Did you feel though that you put yourself under pressure then, because you had to kind of come back through the field, and you know it when you kind of was doing so well almost?
yeah, it was difficult after that, because I knew that maybe podium was my option, but I was 7 and I have to fight with Diego. And then, well, the other guys did some mistakes and I could pass him without fight.
Yeah. But all in all, it wasn't a bad evening. Not bad for an opening race here for the Radical World Series.
Not at all. I struggled with Hockenheim, and to be on the podium on the first race is a win for me. So
there you go, Mateus. Thank you so much for joining us. Is there anyone you want to give a shout out to before you leave the booth this evening?
Yes, to my girlfriend that is here waiting for me after the race. So I want to give her this podium.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Mateus, and we'll look forward to speaking to you soon.
See you.
Right, let's have a chat with Lucas Vieira, last season's champion. Lucas, I want to ask you about the start before we go anywhere else, because you didn't kind of go anywhere off the start, did you?
Oh yeah. Hey James, how's it going?
Oh, sorry, mate. How are you? Sorry.
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. Good. I was practicing the start, and I was kind of too ambitious, and I released just on the clutch, and I got wheel spin, and that point from the rest of the race was all down, you know, all go down. But yeah, it was kind of a false start that I have. I almost fried the tires. I'm glad that I didn't mess up the third one, but it is what it is.
Okay, so now last season, you know, you kind of had had the championship wrapped up, and I'm going to ask you about it. You know, you wrapped it up quite early on. It was like a couple of races from the end where you could have just kind of finished off and job done. Jobs are good, and Vieira's the champion. This year doesn't quite look like you're going to have the same freedom as you did last year, would you say?
Oh, definitely not. I see some real fast guys. I see some guys improve a lot from last season. And I invite Greg for this league because he's a friend of mine. And I was almost regretting for inviting him. just kidding.
Greg, go away.
Yeah. No, but it's good, because every time you have some fast guy and it push you to the limit, you push you to be better, and that's good. I think it's improved. It's good for the league, improved for the quality of the league, and I'm looking forward for the rest of the season because I have to, sweat a lot to catch Greg.
And how is that going to put you in good stead for the season? Because are you going to feel, this is the question, do you feel like you've got to stamp your authority when we go to Rudskogen? Because where's Greg going to be psychologically on that one? If he gets 2 victories in a row, Lucas, what are you going to be thinking, buddy?
Oh, I have a whole season, we have everyone can make a mistake, everything can happen in a race. You see, I have a lot of mistakes on this race. I spun a spot that I shouldn't touch the curb. I lock up and into the hairpin. So even with these incidents, I finished in second. So everything can happen, in a race. So I just didn't think about it. Every race is a race. Yeah. So I think each race has a different one.
Okay. Well, looking forward to it. Looks like you're going to have a tough job this season to defend your crown, but I'm sure if anyone can, you can, buddy. Is there anyone you want to give a shout out to before you leave the booth this evening?
Oh yeah, quite a few. For you, especially James. I know it's real late for you time zone. I always like to give a shout out for you, and for my team that I recently joined, the Unreal's TV Racing. If George and Matheus is watching, I give a shout out for them. It's the real nice guys. I learn a lot from them. And if my girlfriend, I don't know if it's really late on my time zone, so I don't know if she's watching. If she is, for her too.
No worries, Lucas. Thank you so much, as always, there, buddy. And I look forward to speaking to you next week.
Yeah, I hope so, mate. See you next week.
See you next week. All right. I just want to have a chat with Johan Moncada really, really quickly before we pull in Greg, your victory. Johan, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you, James?
I'm very well, buddy. Want to ask you one quick question.
Yeah.
You're promoted to pros. Are we going to see something that we talked about in the interview when we did it at the end of last season? Is Johan Moncada going to have his consistency under the belt this year? That's all I want to know.
That's the goal, mate. That's what I'm working.
You made me very happy because it's one of the things we touched on last season, and to get through the race, it was a tough one, opening race, first race of pros, the nerves and whatever else kicking in. But the fact that you got through, you finished 6th place, I'm chuffed for you, buddy. I really am, because it was, consistency was the key tonight, wasn't it? And you managed to be consistent all the way through.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, James. I'm applying a few different things that I learned last time around. So just like you said, consistency, tire management. So some of the overtakes, I kind of let it go, and I knew I would get it back at the end of the race, just saving some tires, and it worked out. So that's what I'm working towards. Stephen Place has been great. Lucas has been great, kind of coaching me. So I'm getting there. 8 months into it, I think it's going good, and I appreciate your feedback. That's helped out a lot. So thank you for that.
No worries, buddy. Well, that's all I've got for you, Johan. Is there anyone you want to give a shout out to before you leave the booth this evening?
The wife, as always, and as I said, Stephen and Lucas, they've been huge help on the off season. So thanks to those guys as well.
All right, much love, Johan, and I'll look forward to speaking to you hopefully next week.
All right, talk to you then. Thank you.
Right, let's have a chat with your Victor from Russ Racing. Good evening, Greg. How are you?
Good. Hi, James.
How's it going, buddy?
It's going great. That was fun.
Fun? It was like a Sunday drive when you got out in front, wasn't it?
I wouldn't say that. Lucas was keeping the pressure on most of the race, and then I saw that he made a mistake, and then that kind of took all the pressure off. So the last few laps were just kind of sitting back and making sure I didn't do something silly.
Yeah, I spoke to Lucas. He even said like he made a few mistakes throughout the race. I think it was like a good 3 or 4 mistakes in the end. He spun at turn 12, which, mind you, he wasn't the only one. There was a good few people coming and spinning coming off that right-hand curve out of turn 12 as well. So, the first couple of laps were tough, weren't they? Because Lucas Vieira, at one point, we're just watching it literally now, actually, on the broadcast. He got up the inside of you and then overcooked it going into Spitzker. Do you think that would have been a different race perspective if he managed to stop that car and stay in front of you? Because he was definitely flying.
Yeah, I talked to him. He actually said he missed his brake marker, so he overshot that. I thought he was being very ambitious there,
Yeah.
and so I just kind of did the over under, and I realized he overshot. But apparently, I almost got hit by somebody else going there too. So I guess I got lucky there.
Yeah, the start was a little bit chaotic as well. So you managed to avoid that one, but. You're coming in new to the series. I know Lucas invited you. And I spoke to Lucas and I want to know your point of perspective on this. If you go out next week and you win again and dominate like you have done this week, psychologically, that puts you miles ahead, doesn't it? Because, psychological in this is, in any form of racing, is good, and let alone in the SR10. And psychologically, over the people in the rest of the field, surely you're going to have one up going into the round 3 if you win next week as well.
I don't know. I'm not taking anything for granted. I missed a couple seasons, so I used to race the SR8, and I was pretty good in that. And this is like the first season in this car, so I'm still kind of adapting to it. But it's been a lot of fun. I don't have as much time to dedicate to practice as I used to, so it's. I think it's I won't have that advantage I had in the past. So no, I'm definitely not taking anything for granted. Lucas is a super fast guy, and in the officials, we were neck and neck.
Okay. Do you know what? I thought you were going to come out and say, yeah, I think psychologically I've got him. Never mind. Hey, look, we can hope. You know what I mean? I can hope as a commentator for, I don't know, you to come out and say you got it. But Greg, look, you've done a stellar job for your first race, mate, into this league, and I'm impressed. And I'm looking forward to what you do for the rest of the season. Is there anyone you want to give a shout out to before you leave the booth tonight?
Yeah, just my partner Kate and my team Rust Racing. It's always great to practice with guys on the team, and so that tends to help. And Lucas in particular for inviting me into the league. I didn't know about the league, and he's always been a super clean, super great competitor. So it's fun racing against him.
Yeah, because you've teamed up with Havana Shavosian, haven't you?
Yeah, I did, and I don't know where he finished because we weren't on comms together.
13th. He spun coming out of turn 12. As I say, he wasn't the only one.
Yeah, that got Lucas last night too. I thought he would have learned his lesson.
No, because he did it again tonight as well.
I know.
Clearly, turn 13, turn 12, and that curve on the right-hand side is a definite tricky one. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what you and Havanas can do. I'm definitely interested because you're on the different ends of the spectrum. So I think I'm looking forward to that one as well. But Greg, it's been a pleasure talking to you for the first time, buddy. Hopefully for many more conversations throughout the year, mate. You have a good evening, and I'll look forward to talking to you next week.
You too, James. It was great talking to you.
Take care. Well, there we go. That was the Radical Sim Racing Americas series. And I think you got to admit, it's been a good one. Right, here we are. We are back on cams. I think from that perspective, Lucas and Greg both didn't touch on it and say, yeah, I'm going to come out and dominate. And Greg was so much more concerned within himself, saying, Lucas is a super fast guy. Nothing's definite. But I think from Greg's point of view, he's kind of sitting, he's kind of opening it up in the right way, how he should do. And he's got kind of one up on Lucas already. It's 1-0. So I'm interested to see how the season pans out, and I'm really looking forward to next week as well at Rudskogen. I've not been there myself within sim racing, so I think it's going to be great to see how that one pans out amongst the evening of racing, I think. And to be fair, what have we learned from the opening round? Lucas Vieira's got competition, and that is massive. So I think from Lucas Vieira's point of view, he's got to be sitting back thinking, what have I got to do? What am I going to do here? And how am I going to get around it? And he's got to be going out again and working as well with his team, and they've done a stellar job as well. So I'm really excited about that one. And to sit back and see how this season goes is going to be absolutely amazing, guys. But that is it from us here, from myself on the JPB YouTube channel. Just want to say thank you to everybody that's jumped in the booth. Much love, as always, for coming in. And we're going to round the evening out by saying, as always, see you next week. From myself, take care. Have a great week. And you never know, we might see you on the track sometime. Good night.